Good evening, everyone. This is Michael Cobb running for the United States Senate. I'm running in the state of Maryland, but I'm also running to represent every American across the country. I'm not just running for my state, I'm running for all Americans. I don't know if I've discussed this before or not, but as most of you have noticed, the Democratic Party is now a socialist, Marxist, communist party. Republican Party is just as broken. Both parties are about nothing but power. I'm sick and tired of it. This is not how our government's supposed to work. I want to get in there and put my foot up some butts and get people back to doing their job the way they're supposed to. This is unbelievable what's going on. It's like Comrade oh Christ, what is that idiot's name? Anyhow, the mayor of New York did a mandate starting at December 27th that all children from the age of 5 years old and up must have a vaccine, fully vaccinated and vaccine card before they can go into schools, restaurants, bowling alleys, anywhere. This vaccine is still under emergency use only by the United States government. It has not been fully worked out. It takes anywhere from 5 to 12 years for a vaccine to be authorized. This came out in 9 months, and it was a good thing because it did help the elderly. But as far as being very old or having extreme underlying conditions, you do not need the vaccine. It's already been well documented and well proven. And now we're all finding out the vaccine doesn't work after 6 months. Now it wants you to take a booster. Then what? 3 months another booster, and 3 months another booster. If you do the research, COVID has been around forever. COVID-19 is a big surprise because what they don't want to tell you is it really did come out of the Wuhan lab. Now, going to that, I don't think it was done on purpose. I think it was an accident. But anyhow, it did get out. Dr. Fauci was financing gain of function research, and how he has not been held accountable for now the deaths of over 800,000 Americans, and God only knows how many worldwide, is beyond me. But this is DC, and DC needs to be broken up. Trump used to call it the swamp. He was way off. DC makes a swamp look like purified drinking water. You need somebody like me in there that'll go in and represent the American people, not a party. Now, in Maryland, I'm running against a Democrat, so I might have to run as a Republican, but that's not what I'm going to D.C. as. I would like to start a new committee, like Trump talked about. It would be the ANC, the American National Committee, where it's about nothing but Americans for Americans. There would be no color, no race, no nationality, no religion. None of that would be allowed to be mentioned in the ANC. Every 2, 4, and 6 years, these clowns go out and they'll beg for the black vote or African American vote or Hispanic vote or brown vote. I'm not doing that. I'm running as an American for all Americans. We are all created equal under God. We're all made in God's image, whoever your God may be. If you're an atheist, however you want to look at, we're all human beings. We all live on this earth together. But America needs we definitely need our borders, because you're not a country without a border. So our southern border needs to be sealed up, because there's so many diseases coming over the southern border, and not just COVID. Why is it Americans have to have a COVID vaccine, but everybody crossing over the southern border does not? Doesn't that sound kind of strange to anybody out there? I mean, come on. We are the American people. Together, we're stronger than the government. The government has to answer to us. We don't answer to them. And right now, there's three different parts of the government: the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. I'd like to know why the legislative branch hasn't stepped up and put a stop to these mandates by law. They could easily write up a quick, small bill banning him from making these mandates by law. Because, like I said, they've never been fully FDA approved, and they want you to put these in your children. Your children. You don't know what's going to happen with this vaccine 5, 7, 10 years down the road. You have no idea what the side effects are going to be. None of us do. The scientists don't. This needs to stop. COVID is finished. It's done. We take the vaccines. We keep them in our elderly. We keep giving it to our elderly. And we keep giving it to our most vulnerable. But for the rest of us, we need to stand up, say no more vaccines. We can live with it now. One of the doctors, I've watched several doctors, and like this omnivirus, way he explained it, the virus wants to live. And like all viruses, including the Spanish flu, if it's killing its host quicker than it can move, it downgrades itself so it can live and keep jumping from host to host to host. That's why this omnivirus is nowhere near what COVID-19 was or the Delta variant. This omnivariant has made itself weaker so it can survive. And from what I'm understanding, and from what science, which is what they're supposed to be following and they're not, that this virus is just going to keep making itself weaker and weaker and weaker. So there's nothing else to be afraid of, except for, like I said, our elderly and our most vulnerable with underlying conditions. So we take care of them. Everybody else, you need to stand up. Take the mask off because they do not work. It's already been proven time and time and time again. They don't work. I was out in the store today seeing a guy with a full face shield over it. But the sides were that far open. The bottom was that far open. He didn't have a paper mask. Once you think the virus can't come in the sides and up the bottom, I mean, people stop being afraid. We're the greatest country in the world. If it wasn't for us, World War II would have been lost to the Nazis. And now we're getting ready to go to war with Russia and China. Russia and China is nothing compared to the United States. We are the country of the world. We are the number one superpower. But thanks to this woke mob and what used to be the Democratic Party, which it's not anymore, it's a socialist, communist, Marxist party, which wants to destroy the United States of America. And like I said, the Republicans aren't much better because they're not putting up much of a fight, whether you've noticed it or not. And they sure as hell should be. Anyhow, I need to get my name out there. I need people to go to Michael Cobb for U.S. Senate. Go to my GoFundMe page. I need campaign contributions so I can start running commercial ads and get my name on the ballot. I'm going there for the American people, for the Constitution of the United States, for the pride of America, for America to be great, which we are great, but we're slowly losing it. We cannot lose our greatness. We can't let it slip away because once it does, it's going to be almost impossible to get it back. Don't give up your freedoms. You have to fight for this. And I want to go to DC and fight for you, all of you. I am Michael Cobb for the United States Senate seat, and hopefully the founder of the ANC, American National Committee, which would be Americans for Americans, not illegals, Americans. And everybody needs to check into this Build America Back Better. No, let's Build America Back worse. They want to give 6.3 million illegals automatic amnesty, and every one of them will get a check. I don't know if it's weekly or monthly, but they'll be getting a check from our government. What about the American people that need a check? The homeless that can be got off the street, put in rehabs, given a chance to get a job, get their own place, get their life back together. We have Americans we need to worry about, not people crossing our border illegally. And these kids that are being brought over illegally, they're being shuffled off and being used as sex slaves. And if you don't think the politicians in power are getting a cut of that, you're blind, because they would not allow it to happen unless they weren't getting something out of it. I mean, how do you go into the government making $170,000 a year, and within 2 years you own 2-3 mansions, a yacht, and a Maserati? It doesn't work that way. When my roofing company business was booming, I was knocking down $170,000, $200,000 a year. That was years ago. But I don't live in a mansion. I live in a townhome still. So the math doesn't add up. We need to wake up, stand up to the United States government and say it's enough. You work for us. We do not work for you. We are not your slaves. You are not you're not a plantation, and you're not the masters of the country. You work for us. We do not work for you. We're not your slaves. We don't have to take your injections that are not FDA approved. We do not have to follow your mandates of wearing a mask that doesn't do anything. Please go to my GoFundMe page. Support Michael Cobb for U.S. Senate. I'm going there for you, the American people. And I'm an American for all Americans, and for the freedom and rights that we are all guaranteed in the Constitution of the United States, to where we're all the same and we're all equal under the Constitution and under the law of God. Have a good evening. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please share and like. And if there's any way to get one of my videos to Trump 45 or Don Jr., I would love for them to see my videos. I've got a bunch of videos on Michael Cobb for U.S. Senate on Facebook. Go on there, check them out. Check out my message. I'm sure you'll like what I'm saying. And I'm not bullshitting anybody. I don't lie. I never have. I don't play games. What I say, I mean. God bless. Have a good evening.